What's the pros and cons of that about that one?
Pros is definitely, it weeds out a lot of people who may be wasting your time, because if the person is referring you, then there's already a conversation, a dialogue about what that service is, and that they can help, and they back you 100%. And even on a weird kind of subconscious level is that people also are more often to use who they referred because they have a personal relation with that person who they referred to too. So they don't want to hear them or see them down the road and be like, oh, did you go with so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. And they'd be like, no, I didn't, you know, like, so that kind of makes it weird too. Like, that's just usually just little things that when building relations with people, you have to like keep in mind. So it's like, the other part is like, the downside to what that can be is not getting the amount of exposure or the amount of return, the opposite, you know? So you may be getting a direct line to someone who would most likely use your services, but if the person you did work for really doesn't engage with other people who do that similar type of thing that you might need your services for, you may not get that kind of referral. So it's a shot in the dark.
Yeah, and I could also see how that's a good point, because what if the person referring to the person who could buy, what if the buyer doesn't really see that referring person's opinion very highly? You know, what if it's, you know, that guy is at a bar, right, and he's thinking about, he's having a drink and he's thinking about a mural, and the waiter, who he doesn't know, then says, oh, this guy's a good artist. He may or may not take it very seriously, right? But then it kind of leads us into having an incentivized program. You know, one of the big pros is that it's very intentional. It's very intentional. The person is actually going out there. But if the person is pushing, could that be a negative effect though? Is there a negative effect there?
Yeah, I think you don't want to be too forceful with that type of thing. You don't want it to sound too forced, like they're trying to get a deal off of someone else. Like, hey, well, if you get work from them, like, then I can get a discount. Like,
then you become the pushy salesman asshole that no one wants to really listen to.
Exactly, and you may not want that other person to know that you're giving them a deal for that, and that could shoot you in the foot for trying to get what you were actually worth on the next deal, and then starts backpedaling a little bit on your prices, and you feel like you have to reduce what you're worth because of how you're starting to set this trend.